What's up, gamers? This is Big Daddy. I thought I would do this quick little commentary. Obviously, you can tell by the title what I'm talking about. I'm talking about gaming companies, and that they're their own worst enemy. The biggest thing I don't understand is why do they have to run their own games into the ground? If you watched E3 last night, you saw videos from Modern Warfare 3, Halo 4, a new Tomb Raider game, and other stuff. And what I just wanted to talk about was, what is the need for having a game series have 30 games in it? Now, granted, I don't think there's any game series that has 30 games in it, but I'm just using, it's just a random number. And the first example I'm going to use is Halo. If you don't know, Bungie is not developing Halo 4. 343 Studios is, which was set up by Microsoft, I believe in 2007. I could be wrong on that date. If I am wrong, please put in the comments. I don't want to put out false information. And they're developing Halo 4 because Bungie came out, not recently, but a while ago, and said that Halo Reach was their last game. And you know, they had a lot of games, but you know what? They said, you know, this is our last game. We're not going to draw the series out. But obviously, Microsoft is like, no, this is a big money game. We're not just going to quit the game. We're going to run the series into the ground. And that's exactly what they're going to do, because I'm not saying Halo 4 is going to be a bad game. Obviously, we don't know any real details about it because it's not coming out till holiday 2012. And I don't want to jump to conclusions saying this is going to be a bad game. But Halo 4 is not the ending point. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if there was Halo 7 coming whatever date, 2015. I don't know. I'm just making up that date. They're going to run Halo into the ground. They're going to start making crappy games. Like I said, I'm not jumping to the conclusions. I'm not saying Halo 4 is going to be a bad game. I'm one of the biggest Halo fans ever. I love Halo. I even love ODST, which a lot of people don't. But you know, Bungie, I don't even know if I'm going to buy Halo 4, quite honestly, just because maybe staying loyal to Bungie. Bungie is one of my favorite gaming developers, and I don't know if I want to buy a game that's not made by them. But moving on to that, I'm not trying to start a whole Halo debate or anything. What I'm obviously talking about is game companies ruining their own games. I'll use an example like Activision and the Hero series. The Hero series, if you don't know, involved Guitar Hero, Band Hero, and DJ Hero. And they pretty much were the reasons they ran that series into the ground. They were coming out with games like twice a year, 2 games a year. That's a lot if you think about it. I mean, Call of Duty is one of the most games, and they can only come out with 1 a year. You know, Activision ran it into the ground, you know? And personally, they're going to do the same thing with Call of Duty. I'm not saying Modern Warfare 3 is going to be bad, but they're going to kill Call of Duty. Especially with this whole, what is it called? Call of Duty Elite, which I'm not going to get into. I actually have another video recorded that will be up on YouTube in the next day or two, talking about my thoughts on Call of Duty Elite. But they're going to run Call of Duty into the ground, you know? Personally, they don't really work. I mean, a year to develop, you know, supposedly be the hottest game of the year. Well, that's a little tongue twister. That doesn't really make sense. But I hope you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. Is they only spend a year on these games, where other game companies spend like 2 years, even 3 years, or in Battlefield situation, haven't they been developing this game for like 5 years? I'm not trying to start a Call of Duty Battlefield, you know, war here, but I'm just saying, you know, other game companies spend so much more time developing these games, but not Activision. You know, they spend a year. That's really not a lot to, you know, put your heart and soul into a game. An example that would put a good game company would be Epic. You know, obviously they're the Gears of War developer. You know what? They came out and said Gears of War 3 is our last Gears of War game. We're making this thing a trilogy. You know, really, if you put this game into the hands of like Activision or another game company, they would drag this thing out 5-6 games, you know. And you know, Epic puts a lot of time and effort. How old is Gears 2? And Gears 3 is coming out September? Is that the date? I don't know. I'll put in an annotation if I check out the real date. But, you know, they put more than a year's work into this game, and they're stopping after 3 games. And I give them a lot of respect for that, because, you know, if they came out with a Gears 4, people would buy it. A Gears 5, people would buy it. But it would drag out the series, it would make the series boring, and games probably wouldn't be nearly as good as the original 3, I guess I'll call them. You know, it just baffles me, you know, that these companies, I mean, obviously people buy the game, so, you know, what's the point of not making them? But, you know, I'm using Halo and Call of Duty as probably my primary 2 main examples. They just drag these games out forever, you know, and they're gonna kill both 343 Studios if they keep developing Halo games. It's gonna kill the Halo. Activision's gonna kill Call of Duty. It's only inevitable. They're gonna destroy. They're gonna ruin the game. Another, I guess. Oh, you know, I could also talk about EA Sports. Now, I'm not saying EA Sports is gonna die, because I don't think Madden will ever die. I mean, who knows? I never would have thought the Guitar Hero series would die, because it was such a popular game. But who knows in the future? Maybe it will die. Maybe it won't. I don't think it will. I'm just using it as an example. They have so many games that come out once a year, mainly Madden, FIFA. They make a Tiger Woods game, whatever it's called. I think they make another sports game. I just can't think of it at the top of my head, you know. And is there a need for like a Madden every year? Was there a need to go from Madden 10 to 11? Was there a need to make that entire game again? You know, and then they don't support their past games. You know, you can't update your roster when the new game comes out, so you're stuck with the old rosters, forcing you to buy. I mean, they literally force you to buy the game if you want to stick with the true rosters, the new rosters. And I just think that's wrong. You know, support your past game. Just because your game's a year old or even 2 years old, that doesn't mean people still don't play your game. Look at COD 4, one of the pure shooters in the game. People still play that game, but you know what? I'm sick of people defending Infinity Ward on this, because they don't support that game anymore. And they know people still play that game, because you see videos on YouTube alone, a lot of videos on YouTube alone playing COD 4. And there's still so many hackers in this game just ruining it. I don't play it anymore. I tried to put it in once, and somebody was hacking the multiplayer and just kind of ruined it for me, so I didn't want to play anymore. And you know, I'm kind of falling off topic here. That's not really what I wanted to talk about. But it's, you know, Call of Duty. I keep going back to Call of Duty because it's one of probably the best examples. Just think how much better Modern Warfare 2 would have been if they spent 2 years on that game. Just think how that would have been the greatest game ever. In terms of like shooters. I'm not saying ever, obviously that's more of an opinion. But in terms of shooters, that would have been the greatest FPS of all time. And you know, just putting out these games every year. You know, even games I like, for instance, like MLB The Show, which is a PS3 exclusive, so you don't have a PS3, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But that's another game that comes out every year. And is there a need for that game to come out every year? Why not, you know? I thought there was a need to come out, like, for instance, Madden 09. I thought the graphics in that game sucked. So I thought there was a need for a Madden 10. Now, I didn't play Madden 11, but was there really a need to go from Madden 10 to Madden 11? If you ask me, except for the rosters, no, there wasn't a need for it. You know? And, you know, it's just, I don't know why game companies, they're their own worst enemy. They are their own worst enemy. They ruin their own games. You know, Call of Duty, if done right, if done by the right company, could last forever, really. You know, if they made a game every 2 years, every 3 years, maybe even every 4 years, it would last forever. But instead, they push it out every year, and then they don't support their game, and it ruins the game. And Call of Duty is going to die. I'm a Call of Duty fan, and if you don't admit this, you're just fooling yourself, because Call of Duty will die. I'm running out of time on this video, but I hope I got my point across, saying, you know, gaming companies are their own worst enemy. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for new videos.